All right, OCW and Turmoil fans everywhere, welcome to With All Due Respect. Haven't done one of these in just a couple of weeks. It's just been busy. A lot of stuff going on, and it feels like, man, there's like event after event after event coming out for OCW, so it's been a little hard to keep up on. And I'm flying solo. We had somebody lined up to be on the show, and he had to back out last minute, and all these other bums from Turmoil will not hop on with me. So, do a solo show. Have no clue how this is going to go. May not even be worth your time. Try to keep it shorter than hour and a half that these last couple of shows have been going on. But that's what happens whenever you get a couple of these top-end Turmoil talent stuck with the bottom-end Turmoil talent of me talking about what's on Turmoil. So, let's cover... I don't even know what number we're on. I think this is 152. Can't believe we're already on 152. It seems like yesterday it was 150, which is a big show and a lot of fun stuff that's going on. Before we know it, I think just in a couple days, 153 is already going to be due. So let's hop through here and talk about what happened on 152. So opens up with a B17 Mugen RP. I gotta be honest with you, I don't get to watch all of the matches. I just don't have that kind of time. I try my best to skim through and catch as much as I can of Riot and Turmoil, and of course the pay-per-views, so that I can keep as up to date as I possibly can. I gotta be honest with you though, the B17, this twist, this turn that he's taken with his characters, has been really good. Of course, I've always been a B17 fan. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for B17. He's the one who got me here. He's the one that got me to give this a try and become an OCW hoot for life. I don't even know if that's a term of endearment or not. I'm using it as one, though. But for B17, I wouldn't be here. And so I'm glad that the B17 character is back, with or without his dead horse. I like this new cancer gimmick that he's given a try. But, gotta be honest, I don't know where this whole Mugen B17 thing comes from. This kind of comes out of left field for me, but I do think that B17 is an underrated role player. The Loki stuff that's out there, the twin stuff that he's got out there, he writes some of the best role plays. I enjoy reading them. And this is another one that's pretty good. Don't 100% know where it's going, but it's funny, and at the end of the day, that's what matters for me. It's an interesting, fun read, and they're not a mile long like some of my role plays can be. I'm working on that, trying not to make them so long, but this one's just a good one. I like the interaction between these two. And, yeah, B17 has an agenda. And I think we're going to get to see some of that agenda play out. And I really like where he's going with this. And it'll be fun to see how this plays out over the next couple of months. I'll see how long. Here's one of my criticisms. Here's something I think that's hurting. And I'm king of this. I'm the worst of this. I can't even... I get in my own head. I'm changing theme songs right now. I'm going back to the old look of my character. I can't quite pick exactly where I'm going with it. I'm in my own head right now. So I am telling you up front, I'm the worst of this. I am by far the king of messing this up. But we give up on gimmicks, feuds, role plays. We give away stuff too fast. I think we give away key matchups too quickly. I think that that key matchup, that Cactus B17 matchup, should have played out longer. We did give it away on a role play, and on a pay-per-view, and he absolutely murdered me that night. I just bit off way more than I could chew with Dennis and him back to back like that. But I think that we we build up these great feuds, but then we give them away for quote unquote free on a regular show, and then the feud dies too quickly. Things that could last months and months. I think that's something we could do better on, is playing things out and not giving things away so quickly and on just regular Turmoil shows. I think we can do a better job of keeping those lines, keeping those things going for a much longer period and making them last months instead of weeks or even just a couple of shows. So I'm hoping that's what happens with this B17 Austin cancer treatment that we've got going on here. I'm hoping that's something that doesn't just play itself out, but maybe even carries all the way through this season and carries on into the next season of Turmoil. So gets us in to the Queen. The Queen making her way out. I'm going to mute this so it doesn't come on here. God, I'm going to get murdered for this, and I think I'm okay with it. It is with all due respect. The hell, I didn't even watch this video, but is Dennis making Madison's boobs bigger every single show? What's going on here? There's got to be a story there. My goodness. The Queen comes out, does what the Queen does. Here's what I'm going to get murdered for. I remember when the Gentlemen's Club first started, and at the time, Jay had a point that it seemed like half the roster, and it probably wasn't half the roster, but probably was half of the active roster was in the Gentlemen's Club, only to be outdone by Rev Inc., which I think literally has 98% of this roster as part of Rev Inc. That's a problem, and I hope that kind of breaks up here soon. This whole weird... Of course, Madison is the only one that is truly a heel hidden in face clothing. This Dennis Black weird line that we'll talk about here in a little bit when his match comes up, of being a heel or a face, and this stupid underdog gimmick that he tries to sell on all of us that nobody will buy. The only thing that sells worse than that is Cactus Gauge shirts that I try to sell. Madison's great. I love the gimmick. That doesn't ever waver. This interaction between her and Dennis is great. But Dennis's interaction with others, where he's teetering, flip-flopping between heel and face, can be weird at times. I don't know. I just don't like the huge everyone is part of Rev Inc. I think it waters down what we're trying to do here on Turmoil. And hopefully that'll kind of break up and work itself out. It usually always does. I hope that the Gentlemen's Club comes back in some kind of form one day. I do like... I know others don't like Stable Wars, and maybe they're probably more right than I am, and that does water down our product a little too much, but I like what Madison's doing here. She comes out. I like that the person that they're picking plays into a larger gimmick. I like that we're not giving that match away that we're playing up to on a regular show, that'll be a pay-per-view thing that we're building towards. Probably would have liked to have seen it build up a little bit longer, but overall I think that that's kind of the correct way to do it. What'll be interesting is, where does it go from there? Is that just one part of a larger thing that's just playing out between Dennis and Rev Inc.? So it'd be interesting to see kind of where that goes, but always like Madison's role plays. Hutsy comes out, quick, simple, easy role play. I like this character. Can't put my finger on where Hutsy's going to go. kind of feels a little Cactus Gauge to me. Kind of like I can't figure out where I'm going at times, and kind of like a boat without a sail. Hutsy's a little bit that way, but of course, we all know who that really is, and some good things come out of this show about that. I just like the character itself, and I like the gimmick. It's a weird gimmick, but I think it has some fun potential here, and it'll be fun to see kind of where it goes. So, him and Joe go at it in a division that I absolutely hate. I cannot stand the hardcore division. That's just me personally. I just don't like those matches. I don't know. They're just not fun for me. But this was a fun match to watch. I love Joe. I like the Hutsy character. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. So yeah, this was a fun match between these two. I kind of skimmed through it again. I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't have tons and tons of time to sit here and watch that. I do like the new Joe. I think he's one of the most underrated guys that we have here in Turmoil. And this was a fun match, even though I kind of skimmed through it back and forth. These guys just went back and forth. I think I could be totally wrong on this. I could be missing this, but if I remember correctly, there's another hardcore match on here that I know got rave reviews, but I really liked this one. I thought it was a good one, and I just thought it was a fun match with a lot of back and forth between two guys who played well. I think we're going to have the end coming up here soon. It's kind of a missed spot there. It's one of those things, like, the longer that you've been here and you start to learn ethics, I guess you could say, that those unwritten rules, you kind of start to get with those old timers. I call them old timers, but whatever you want to call them, the guys who've been here a very, very long time, think and say about how you end a match. This one kind of ended the way the other one does later on, even though the other one did have a kick out and ended a little bit better. But I get trying to make a match look appealing and appeasing and good to the eye, and yet still end in a great way. And it sucks to see, so this one ended because Hutsy misses a position. I mean, Joe has a right to end it. He should. It's well within his rules, but I kind of get, once you get to that place where you kind of both know the rules of making it look like a really good ending and not making it end on something like that. So, for a newbie like me, who's only been here for, I don't even think I've been here for a year yet, it's starting to make sense. Of course, I'm on a huge losing streak, so the hell do I know. A nice little Loki role play. I'll be honest, I missed it where these two lost the titles. I don't know how the hell I missed that, but I did. I missed where they lost their titles, and we all seen this coming. We seen the breakup being worked in for a while, but they were one of my favorite tag teams, and I know that it's time for them to kind of break up and go their separate ways, but the Loki character just kind of needs somebody, and he's such a fun character. He needs to stay a part of Turmoil some way, somehow. That needs to, even as this plays out, and it kind of comes to a head at a pay-per-view between these two, I hope Loki finds either another partner or does work his way into a singles career, because Loki is a fun character, right? Top 5 character here, and I hope that works out, because it needs to work out, and that character needs to stay on the show. Even though he stole my gear, made me change. I went back to it, but Loki's a thief. Jet Draven shows up. I know Jet is one of the rookies that the hell is Loki doing? That's another one I got to admit. I've never understood the start the match off with two taunts. I don't know. I guess people think that looks good. I've never really liked it unless it makes sense. Like unless there's something that plays into why that match would start off that way. But some missed spots from Loki early on. A lot of backing up. I'm going to go ahead and ask about this. Ask about it. Nobody else on the freaking show with me, you bums. So I used to do the backing up thing a lot. I thought it was good strategy, like well-timed, don't walk into stuff. And then I got hammered about it and told, oh, you're not supposed to do that. This match started out really ugly, didn't it, guys? A lot of missed spots there. But anyway, I've noticed that the backing up has become a thing here lately. A lot of people backing up. And then it's like, moonwalking is not backing up. Backing up's not moonwalking, but some people consider. I just don't. I wish it would just. Is it a strategy that can be used, or is it not? I've chosen not to use it because I got told it was not a thing that should exist. But yet, especially with the rookies, you see it happening a lot. I had a conversation. I don't even remember what rookie I was talking to, saying, "Hey, you should watch how much backing up you do," and the guy's like, "Oh no, I'm told that's fine. It's good strategy." Blah blah blah. So either way, I wish it would just be said. I hate gray area, freaking baseball, unspoken rule crap. I wish we could just make up our mind of yes, it's good strategy. Use it. Or I think what I understand is everything is those types of gray area things are fine if used in moderation. But I think that especially for rookies, moderation is a thing that people are still trying to figure out and what that looks like. So there's my little rant about backing up. Of course, I get my tail whipped time and time again. Maybe I should back up a little bit more. One of the things I know I've had conversations with some people is to go sideways instead of backing up. So when I back up, I usually back all the way up. It's not a step or two, and then I'm stepping in because you missed a move. I think it's a little lame of a strategy to use. So, man, edit those matches up. Get that blue screen crap out of there. You guys are better than that. We're a better show see, stupid stuff like that. That's crap. I don't know who did that. You edited the whole dang show. Get the blue out of there, all right? We're a better show than that. Freaking, that's why Riot people take a piss on us. Jim and Rex roleplay. I liked it. You got to give it to these rookies who just jump in there and do their very best. Just keep showing up on every show. Keep role playing. You'll get it figured out, and I think that it's needed. I mean, we need more guys to do that kind of stuff. Oh, then it was time for the watering hole. I thought this was good. Austin and I have been tossing this idea around for a while. Wasn't as good as last week's stuff that we did, but again, here's where I'm the worst at. This thing is a mile long. I knew it was a mile long. I tried to delete some of it, but just the way we had Austin open the show, but yet we still wanted a real watering hole. I think he and I's interaction was pretty short. We didn't go at it for very long, just a couple of lines there. And then we had Jimmy come back on the show. It was good to have Jimmy back. I think he's another missed character, and it just adds back to Turmoil. It's good to... I just miss Turmoil having its own flavor and its own characters. I get why we have the Riot guys here and guys here go to Riot and the back and forth, and I think it's good for the overall federation. I just miss having our guys, and having Jimmy back is going to add to that. So I thought this was fun. Jimmy was fun to work with. I think it was a little weak on my end. Could have made it a little bit better, but again, it was already getting super duper long, and we knew we wanted Diamond to come out because They're trying to get something going on there. So anyway, not my best watering hole, but apologize for it being so long. But I think it's setting up some stuff between Austin and I, between Diamond and Jimmy. There's some things that can happen there. I'm asking Jimmy. I don't know where this stands yet because I haven't talked to Jimmy in a while, but because Austin is pushing me for some tag match between B7 Austin and myself and the tag team partner of my choosing. I don't have one, so I asked Jimmy to think about doing that. So this may play in as we get into some pay-per-views down. I know that the one card has been released, but there's still more of that card to be released. So hopefully we'll be on that card. At least that's what this is playing to. Then we get to Rex, Dustin White. I kind of miss working with Dustin White. Of course, I got Dustin White to come over with me whenever I came over here. I really like what that character has turned into. I think he writes some pretty funny stuff. I'd like to see him start to show us a little bit more of his own personality instead of being so tied into Rev Inc., Gentleman Jack. I'd like to see I'd like to see him do some more on his own stuff. The funny kind of lost guy gimmick is fun, but I'd like to see some more of that personality come out. Dustin kind of got his tail whipped here, but again, it's hardcore, so that can happen pretty quickly, and it can kind of get lost. I thought there were some good spots here. I know that Dennis said it was one of his favorite matches of the night. Again, I don't know if it was my favorite match of the night. I really liked the other one that we talked about a while ago with Joe and Hutsy. But there were some good spots. I think there's a spot coming up here where it almost ended that made me not like this match as much. But then again, the Jimmy spot ended on something very similar. So you'll see here, wakes him up. It's a little back and forth here. And then, I think it's right here somewhere, where Dustin begins to... Maybe I missed it. There was a spot where Dustin goes to walk up the steps. Anyway, he's going to do something, I guess, off the apron. He's trying to get the match back inside. Let's see if this is it. You'll see why it kind of lost something for me. I could be way too harsh on this because my freaking matches suck. But anyway. I don't know what the hell that was. There's a little editing snafu there. Anyway, Dustin goes to walk up. He's trying to get in the ring, blah, blah, blah. Rex trips him up, falls off the apron, and he tries to end it right here. So he runs, makes him run up the steps. So clearly it was a mess up. And then Rex low blows him, tries to end the match right here. I just didn't like it. I felt like clearly Dustin was not trying to run up the steps. Anyway, I do like the way it did end, though. It was a good match. A good spot right there at the very end where these two get up on the table. I'll admit, that was a cool ending. And it was a good win for Rex. I mean, Rex is clearly, if you've played him at all, he's dominant. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with here. He might even be one of those guys that takes that TV title away. Good to see Dustin sell that finish, too. I mean, it's good to know, hey, that's a good finish. Sell it. It's over. We'll get him next time. So that was a really good one. I don't know if this is it. It was a weird placement of a role play. Of course, I've never put these shows together. I can imagine how difficult it is because everybody wants to be at the start or at the end, and I do not envy the bookers and the guys who put these shows together at all. But a little Jet, Corey Ford, little L, a little back and forth between all these guys. Um, just a good, solid role play, building up to something. I'd like to see it built up a little bit more, maybe. And I just don't want to see, like, this is a good role play, and sometimes it can just get drowned out because it's stuck in the center because it's got to go somewhere. And not everything can go at the start of the finish, but it needs a good, just keep building, keep working it, keep going at it, keep bringing that to something. I don't remember what this was, so. My internet must be ungodly slow. Oh, yeah. It's Jimmy in the back. Little Joe. Little Jimmy and Joe together. Should be an interesting little underdog duo there. Cactus needs buddies like that. Bill Dean comes out. Love Bill Dean. Who doesn't love Bill Dean? It's been fun to watch how this was just a side alt. Put people over to. We all were like, this is legit. Like, Bill Dean can be legit if he wanted to, and now he's showing that he can be legit. And doing their thing, I love Bill Dean role plays. Just another good one. Dennis Black, TJB. I love where this is going. I like how it was built up. I think we all see the payoff. I think we all know what's coming. Dennis always does such a great job with his entrances. But it's just got this weird heel thing going. And I know, look, Dennis thinks long term. It's one of the things I enjoy about Dennis. He really does think through, where's this going in a couple of months, next season. Dennis just does his thing on TJB. Dude's just a monster. And people have to just survive with him and hope that somehow they can get lucky. This is where this turns weird to me. I just don't understand the face going and getting a chair. It's just very hillish, you know? I just don't understand where it was going. So it was a little weird to me there. I get that we're, the father, son. I get what we're building up to. It's good editing. Just doesn't make sense for a face to do something like that. I would have assumed it to go the other way, maybe. But anyway, we all know that Dennis is not a true face, so I'll have to accept that one day. Some Jet stuff. Another good role play. Again, these guys are doing a good job. I thought this was good with him and Stacy. I like the trainer, and he's getting worked on, and yeah, just a good, solid role play there. Again, I like what we're building here with RD. I was trying to find the one. Sorry. I was trying to find. There was just one that just confused me. I didn't understand. Again, I don't envy the booker at all because you got so much stuff and you got to figure out how to make it flow together. But there's one that just kind of looked a little weird to me. Loki, love his stuff. Again, I already talked about Loki. This should be a fun match between Loki and Trance. I got to look back at the pay-per-view. I don't even remember if this gets put on the pay-per-view or not. But this will be a fun match. It's just, what is that the payoff? Are we just building up to a one-time deal? Or are we building up to something bigger than that? Are we looking at a Loki going heel? That would be interesting. Does the Owl God beat up Loki so bad that Loki goes heel, and now these two are tagging up as a heel duo? I don't know. That would be something interesting. It'd be fun to see where this builds up. Again, one of the things I think we can just do better is build up to something longer term than maybe just a month or 2 month type deal, and a payoff is just a pay-per-view. Some of the stuff will just be a pay-per-view payoff, but can that go longer? And I think that's something that could go longer. Lots of good role plays on this show. I really enjoyed the role plays. Not a lot of matches, so again, I'd have to go back to look at the calendar. It's hard to keep up. I do a lot of sports work. That's what I do. I work in the youth development industry and through sports. So I've been swamped with NBA and Nike events, with the All-Star Game being here in New Orleans, and so it's been hard to keep up. But it seems like there wasn't a ton of matches. Maybe it was. Maybe 4 matches or 5 matches or whatever. Maybe that's just normal, but expected there to be more. Then again, a lot of the rookies have fell off. I did hear from the rookie who fell off the other day from me. So he's been sick and inactive, but it literally takes 3 seconds to send a message saying, yo, I'm sick, I'm not going to be able to play, go ahead and fill in for me or find out what you got to do for me. But I don't know, man. Rookies, it's not that complicated around here. Communicate, that's all it takes. Gentleman Jack makes an appearance here. I haven't heard from Jack in a while. I just personally haven't been around the same time as he has been on the chat. I don't know if he's just been busy or just a lot of things going on, but it would have been cool to, Jack's such a good role player. I know everybody loves his stuff. It would have been good to see Jack do some role plays on here. Whoever's doing this editing, I like the fuzz in, fuzz out thing that's going on here. I know that's like telling a bigger story. I like little things like that. I pick up on little things like that. Butcher and Malou, these two used could be a dynamic duo if they ever wanted to go after, the tag titles, do something like that. Bill Ding and Gentleman Jack just makes for a weird combo for me. I don't know. I guess Bill Ding is now part of Rev Inc. I know that there's a story there that I've missed, and I'm not recalling. I'm not making. I just don't see those two as being, a partner that you would put together in your own brain. But man, Jack's been putting in work. I'm glad that he decided to do Ring this year and not just do the managing. I like seeing more big guys like Malou and Butcher. I feel like because Dennis is so dominant that everybody's kind of went to these flippy, jumpy, off the ropey type guys. I don't even remember what it was, but I was watching a match the other day, and I'm watching one of the rookies who's pretty tall. He's like Malou's height, not weight wise. But he's tall and he's skinny, and I'm watching him do flippy crap, and I'm watching super kicks, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the leg sweep kick. I hate that freaking move, and I want to see more big guys, man. I guess I miss that old style wrestling. So having 3 big guys in this match made this a fun match to watch, especially Jack is like the mini Dennis, man, and he struggles with finishing, but outside of that, he's really good. If he could just learn to finish just a little bit better, he can hold one of these titles if he wanted to. So, Jack, I missed your role play on this. I'd like to see a role play or two on here. I thought this was a fun match. I don't know. Tag matches as the main event are always a little weird, and they're tough to pull off. But these 4 people together pulled it off. This was a good match, and it's one of those matches that you do want to watch start to finish. So Malou, the Butcher, come out with the victory here. It's a good match, good editing. It all worked. It was just good stuff. And this is building up again to something bigger that we'll see on the pay-per-view. But, God, somebody break up Rev Inc. I'm sick of having huge, massive groups together. So RD comes out with Reagan. They get something going. I like where this is going. Clash is going to be a great pay-per-view. It's going to be a massive card, and it'll be fun to see. I need to look today. I didn't see anything today when I looked earlier, but it'll be see who gets put on the other card. I know that I've heard a couple of feedback. Again, I don't envy bookers at all, no matter who's doing it. Someone's always hating you. Somebody's always mad at you. But I know that it would be nice to see Turmoil get on the main card, not pre-show so much. But again, we got to earn that. We have to kind of force our way. One of the things that you got to respect about Dennis is he forced people to take notice. Love him or hate him, he forced people to take notice of who he was. And at Turmoil, I think that we have to do that better. We got to tell stories better. We have to tell longer stories, and we have to force people. We got to force these bookers to put you on the main show and on the main card. And if we're not doing that, then that's our fault. We have to make people demand it to happen. So yeah, and especially, I guess that's one of the letdowns. I do like this role play wrapping things up. But if, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe this is something that just carries on to the next shows. I just expected something to come of this right here. This match, beating up. Rev Inc. is massive. Rev Inc. is faces, and yet no one comes out to save. No, there's no role play of them coming out and causing Butcher and Malou to escape through the crowd. Like, it's like I just feel like we're missing something. Again, we're telling this story, but we leave something off. And that's something I want to work on, especially with Cactus, especially with the Water Hole, with the stories I'm trying to tell. Tell shorter stories, more condensed, get to the point, cut the fat. Shorter bites, but longer meals. Tell the complete entire story. Don't give away the payoff so quickly. So, I thought it was a great show. Maybe great's not. It was a good, solid show, and I can see the need for more characters, especially on Turmoil. Take a look at 153, main events wait and see. Don't know what that's all about. Again, if we're telling that story of a wait and see, tease that. Tease that at the end of 152. Maybe that wasn't the angle. Maybe we didn't know that it was going to be a wait and see. But to me, somebody's got to know there's going to be some kind of surprise. Tease that surprise. Tease that somewhere. Maybe that's what gets teased in the center of the show to get people intrigued and things don't get buried right there in the middle. I just think that something should have been teased there. Cactus and Austin Lee are going to go at it. We kind of teased that a little bit. And I think there'll be a tease on where we're going that in the pay-per-view if we did get on the pay-per-view. The Butcher and Rex. Rex, you're going to get your opportunity there to prove something there with the Butcher. You get a real opportunity now to show that you can hang because the Butcher's legit. You get Parker Stevens and Joe. That'll be a really good match. It should be a fun match to watch. Joe, I'm pulling for you. You're the underdog, and I think everybody's pulling for you. Hutsy and Jet Draven. Personal preference. Saying that right up front. I just don't like all the Extreme Rules matches, and I guess we're trying to like pull away from tag matches and get Extreme going, so that TV title, I guess, which is now gone, and it's over at Riot. I don't know. I got to get used to it. I just don't like having all of the extreme matches. I'd like to see maybe one extreme match, a tag match, like one extreme, one tag every show, and then just some regular matches on the show. So that's a look at 153, which is actually due this Wednesday. So make sure that you get that turned in. I am looking for some watering hole guests coming up. So if you want to be on the watering hole, let me know, because I need some guests. I need some angles here. Trying to even find my way over back to Riot. I know that there's some things that are in the works there. So hopefully we'll see Cactus back on Riot. So thanks for watching the show. With all due respect, I thought it was a good show. I got to use that tagline. Sophia's going to hate me for that. She is the ultimate marketer. That's why she needs to be on the show more often. But I'll use that tagline, Sophia, going forward more often. Thanks for listening to the little Southern boy rant and rave about Turmoil. A lot of good things are coming. I like the direction that we're going. Just want to see some more characters, and I know we've had this influx of rookies that have all disappeared. Trying to talk my buddy into coming back here, but lots of good stuff coming. Can't wait to see Clash and what that's going to pay off, and the payoffs, the shows that are going to go on there, and the storylines. Come on, Turmoil, let's tell more concise, longer stories. That's what we got to do to make Turmoil. Let's force our way to be taken notice of. So, with all due respect, this show is now over. You hoots can go rip me to pieces. Tell me how bad that I suck. We will see you on 153. Hopefully we'll get some guests on here. Austin, B17, Dennis, Sophia, I don't care. Somebody come talk with me, all right? Deuces, we'll see you on the other side.